Alright, before we get going, I hope the audio is sufficient. I know it's not great, but I'm using the built-in microphone on my camera because my lapel mics here have died and they are charging, and that takes a couple hours. But this is an impromptu video, same day upload. I'm just going around my fish room here, and I'm tearing down some of my plant grow out racks, primarily the moss ones, and doing some submerged builds, very simple, just to kind of get them growing again. Some of you may be familiar with a plant grow out rack. A lot of these trays are working well. Some of them are not working very well. Like this Riccia fluitans. I mean, like, ugh, brother, ugh. So we're going to put it back underwater and hopefully it will regrow. These builds, again, are going to be super simple. It's not like an aquascape. It's going to be like a rock in a bare aquarium or a piece of wood in a bare aquarium, something like that. I just want to get them back underwater, see if we can get them to grow. Free up some room on the grow out rack. Whew, say that 20 times. And so yeah, enjoy a couple of micro builds quickly. Let's go. All right, so to start things off, we're going to travel into the bathroom here, and we're going to go into the sink. And I have some Anubias Nana Petite here and a little bit of Java Moss Lace that I have saved from other builds. I kind of want to grow them back out again. These are super simple little micro plants, and I just want to get them growing again. They've been heavily bleached and peroxided, and so you can see that they're kind of suffering. So let's get these guys in an environment where I can fertilize them and maybe get them growing again. No, they haven't been in the sink the whole time either. So for the first build here, and I'll try and give you a nice little backdrop here, we have this little tiny 12-inch by 12-inch by 12-inch cube, and it used to be a little shrimp cube, but what we're going to do is make I think a fern grow out in this one here. So let's go grab our little ferns. Up top here I've got some cholla wood, so we'll take this little piece of cholla wood, we'll put the fern on that, and then I don't know, maybe stick a rock to it or something. This is all, again, impromptu, so enjoy the chaos because it's about to ensue rapidly. Alright, so we got our cholla wood here. We've got a large flat rock that we can glue it to, because guaranteed this is going to float if you've worked with this stuff before. A little bit of a Gorilla super glue gel, and then we have our ferns. So, not going to film gluing ferns to cholla wood because, well, I mean, that's boring, and we're trying to make this video super quick. So, let's put this together, drop it in this tiny cube, and look at this simple little aquascape. Okay, we're all done with this one here. I have put a little bit of aqua soil down in the bottom, like just one pebble depth layer. This should provide some nutrients to leach into the water for the fern, and that's it. It's minimalistic at its minimum. Let's fill this little guy up with water and find a place to stick it. Alright, I really don't have a good place anywhere on like a fish rack or something, so for now we're going to take the Riccia fluitans out of here because I know we're going to be using it. This little guy in here for now, it has water in it, it's got light, it should have nutrients from the aqua soil there, so I'm hoping that we get a little bit of fern growth. And again, sorry for the audio when I'm away from the camera, it's probably hard to hear me. But anyway, there we go. There's a little fern in a little cube with a little water on a little rock. Okay, next up we've got a little tiny, this was like a Hygger fish bowl that they sent me. And I don't know, it's like not even a half a gallon, I think. And then we have our Anubias Nana super glue. And guess what? Another piece of cholla wood. So Anubias on cholo with glue in bowl. So I'm gonna get this set up. We'll show you what this little Nana baby miniature micro aquascape, whatever you want to call it, minimalist aquascaping, take 2. Alright, the second little micro build is done. Let's go ahead and move this Riccardia moss, which we're going to use later. And we can bump this little guy over on the shelf. I've already put water in it, filled it up. Let's take a closer look at it. Not a whole lot going on or a whole lot to see here. There's some aqua soil down at the bottom there. The cholla wood is sitting on top. We've glued Anubias all over it, and that's pretty much it. Now, you may be wondering, how is that chunk of cholla wood just resting on the aqua soil? Obviously, it's a brand new piece of wood. It should float. Well, I have magic in my fingers. No, I'm kidding. There's a rock obviously glued underneath there. So, there you go. Microscape number 2. Now I've probably done something stupid because the tiny oval opening in this fish bowl is not going to allow me to get that out once it grows in, but whatever, we do dumb stuff on this channel so you don't have to. We'll give you an update a couple months later and see what it looks like. Alright, for our next aquarium here we have a 5-gallon, and this is just going to be a little moss rock. We're going to start by putting some aqua soil in there. This will once again give some nutrients in the water column for these mosses, or this particular moss, I don't know. So put a little bit of aqua soil in there. And then I have this giant piece of beautiful Cereus stone, and I've been looking for something to do with this Cereus, and I'm thinking just putting it in the middle of the aquarium like that, it's going to go good. Now the moss we're going to put on there is going to be this disgusting Riccia fluitans. I'm going to try and get in here and adjust the brightness for you. There, you might be able to see this stuff is kind of full of algae. So we're going to rinse it very well in the sink, and then I'm going to glue it all over, focus. I'm going to glue it all over this rock right here. Fill it up with water, we'll see what it looks like. We'll be back with Microscape number 3 in just a moment. Alright, I used my kitchen sink sprayer and sprayed off as much of that algae. It was very loose algae, but I sprayed off as much as I could. We're not combining anything. If the tank fails, well, it fails. But alright, let's glue it on a rock and see what it looks like. I'll be honest, not going to look great in the beginning. Alright, the Riccia fluitans aquarium is built. It doesn't look so great right now. Just some Riccia fluitan glued on a rock with some aqua soil in there. Now, when I filled it up, which you see it's only halfway full, but I had to lift it into this rack, so I can only carry about 2.5 gallons of water. Sorry, I'm weak. Anyway, as you see, it dislodged a bunch of that Riccia fluitan up here, and I have been told that Riccia is technically a floating moss. By the way, if you hear some splashing, I am filling up an aquarium which you guys have not seen yet, so we're not going to give you too much info on that. But I know that Riccia is a floating moss and is supposed to kind of spread out across the surface of ponds or whatever. And I have seen aquascapers use it on rocks, and it does kind of adhere and then grow. We're gonna see what happens here. The stuff that's floating, I'm probably gonna thin it out a little bit, but I'm gonna leave some of the Riccia floating on the surface here, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if it's happier kind of growing as a floating Riccia, or if it's happier growing as a attached Riccia. Anyway, I know it's not full, but we will fill it up once this aquarium is done filling with RO water. So we'll get that filled up. Let's pull this 5-gallon off and do another final micro build. Alright, for the next build here, and I apologize for the reflections, but we have another 5-gallon aquarium, and we're going to do Riccardia moss. Focus camera. There we go. A little bit of Riccardia moss, and we're also going to grow out a big old clump of Physidens moss. This probably is not going to focus. There we go, a nice clump of Physidens moss. So what we're going to do in this aquarium is just a simple wood build. I have 2 pieces of wood. We're going to go ahead and throw those guys in there. This is, I guess, bog wood, they call it, or some sort of river wood. And I'm thinking I have just a little bit of Riccardia. I think Riccardia on this one. Physidens spread out over this one here. And we'll just see what happens. Physidens does like to attach to wood, and it attaches pretty hardcore. So once again, we may destroy this piece of wood by having all the Physidens just embed itself in these little cracks and crevices here. But hey, if we do destroy this piece of wood, it's not a big deal. I say destroy. If it's embedded with Physidens, we'll use it in another aquascape where we need a large piece of Physidens wood. Physidens wood sounds weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the build done, and once again, we'll show you the final product on Miniscape number 4. Alright guys, this is what I have come up with here. We've got just a little piece of wood on the right with the Riccardia on there, and then we've got the Physidens moss kind of spread out amongst this piece of wood. I know there's a lot of reflections. I got a lot of light in this fish room, so it's really hard to film stuff. Anyway, give you a little top-down view. That might make a little more sense. I don't like this angle now that I'm looking at it. Let's go ahead and, there we go, line that up, make it a little more symmetrical. Let's get some water in it, and then let's get it all the way up here on the shelf with the other stuff. We'll get everything filled up. We'll show you what it looks like at the very end, and then we'll do an outro on this 4 microscape video. I want to give you guys a quick update here before we do our final outro. The little fern tower here is looking great. This piece of cholla wood has never been used, and look at the tannin leach that this thing is producing. We're gonna have to do several water changes on this. And by the way, of course, no filters on any of these if I forgot to mention that. But yeah, we're gonna have to do quite a few water changes to make sure that this thing doesn't just turn like orange with tannins. I forgot cholla wood leached tannins. So anyway, let's wrap up the video right now. It's the next day, and as you can see, we've got some nice purling action going on here. It's even stuck on the glass, but the moss is doing well. One thing to note down here is that there's still a little bit of like hair algae in the moss here. This is the Riccardia, and so we're gonna have to be cautious about this thing just turning into an algae fest again. Here's a good shot of some of that purling on the moss. Right there you can see, look at all the tiny bubbles. So looks like the moss is enjoying being submerged again. Moving over here to the Riccia fluitans. We've got some floating Riccia up here, which you can't see because of the brightness. There we go, a little bit of Riccia up there. And we're just gonna kind of let this thing do its thing and see what happens. Kind of an experiment, but literally purling, there's bubbles floating up. So that's kind of cool to see from any kind of moss, a little bit of pearl in there. Our first 2 doing good here. This one got a little cloudy overnight, so of course we're gonna do a water change on that right away. And as you can see, a water change definitely needed here for the cholla wood tannins. So I'm gonna get those changed out. Water changes have been done, everything's nice and clear, and I went ahead and decided to do a finishing touch by adding a couple of cute little shrimp. I have culled some shrimp that I've been breeding in a Skittles tank, and so some of these are going to be hard to find. This is like a green-gray kind of shrimp. Again, hard to see in this fish bowl, but their color is pretty cool, so we put them in there. I've got some really shrimp here in red, so we put those in there. And if we move on over to the aquariums up top, we've got some unique shrimp here. Let me see if I can find a good one. They're like red and orange. So they haven't quite gone to like really stage or anything, but they're speckled kind of mostly orange, but some red in there. Just unique little shrimp. We put those in there. And then over here we did just kind of a tiger red. They're just developing like little black stripes and stuff. Focus camera. Some clear ones there. That's the stage before they get their little stripes. So just put some shrimp in there that should help clear things up, or not clear up, but keep things a little clean. Maybe they will help with this little bit of algae problem. I've never seen Neocaridina shrimp really eat algae, but maybe they'll eat the decaying matter and grow and breed and just keep the water quality a little bit better. And well, just also something cute to look at. All right, that's going to do it for the 4 micro build video. Hope I edited it nice and concise for you and it was quick and entertaining. If you did enjoy it, click the like button. If you want to see more dumb stuff related to aquariums, click that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next video.